and welcome to Master Guitar Fret. My name is Jörg. In this lesson I will show you how to play the Aeolian Scale over a backing track and play it with a pattern so that it sounds less like a scale but more like a solo. If these fun scale lessons interest you, then please check out my playlist. I have a bunch more lessons there covering various modes and scales. All resources for these lessons are in the description below. I have for you a modes wheel that I'm quickly going to explain, as well as the Aeolian scale pattern is all tapped out. The Aeolian scale chart, all 5 positions. However, we're only going to focus on the first position for today. And a link to the backing track in B minor is there as well. The Aeolian scale is the 6th mode of the C major scale. Most of you will know the C major scale. It starts at C, whole step to D, whole step to E, half step to F, whole step to G, whole step to A, whole step to B, and a half step back to C for the octave. Now, the Aeolian scale starts at A. Okay, from A we have a whole step to B, a half step to C, a whole step to D, a whole step to E, half step to F, and a whole step to G, and then a whole step back to A. Okay, we're basically following the same sequencing, but now we're going to start with the A note. Okay, so that's the Aeolian mode, and that makes up the Aeolian scale. Okay, so I'm going to show you that on guitar right now, so hopefully it makes a little bit more sense. So if we want to play the Aeolian scale, we'll take the open A string and we apply the same intervals of the C major scale starting at A. Okay, so A, after A comes B, whole step, half step to C, whole step to D, whole step to E, a half step to F, and a whole step to G, and a whole step to A. So that's the Aeolian scale in the key of A. It sounds a little different than the C major scale because we're starting at A and we're finishing at A, but we're still playing that C major sequence. I hope that makes sense. All right, so now how do we take that scale and play the same pattern all over the neck? Well, we're going to go and use the first position of the Aeolian scale in A. Okay, so we're going to use the A bar chord, and in particular it's the E-shaped bar chord. On the 5th fret it's A. Okay, of course it's a minor. For this scale we're going to have to play a minor backing track. And so now we'll play those same intervals starting at A. Full step, A to B, half step to C, full step to D, full step to E, half step to F, full step to G, and full step to A. And then we play the same thing again. And of course we can play those 2 notes too. Okay, so here we have now that Aeolian scale. So I'm going to play it so you can see it. Okay, and you can check it out on that sheet I made available for you. Okay, so that is the Aeolian scale. Now, how can we transpose that into another key? Because obviously, if we play it here on the 5th fret, we play it to a song that is in A minor. Now I want to play the Aeolian scale in, let's say, G, up here. So we find the bar chord, we find the G, right, G minor, right here, and then we apply that same pattern. Okay, so that's as simple as it is. You want to put it to B, and in the lesson we're going to use B minor actually. All right, I know you've been waiting a long time, you've been patient, so let's go break down that pattern. Let's have a look exactly what we did with this pattern here. We're in B minor, obviously, so we start with the B, which is the 7th fret E. So for the first part of this pattern, we play 6 notes and a vibrato. Okay, and after we played 6 notes, we go back onto the 5th, and that's where we rest. And then we continue on the next pattern from that note, and that's going to repeat itself. Okay, so what we're playing here, we're playing E7, E9, E10, A7, A9, A10, and back to A9. And here we play the vibrato, or rest. Second part, we're going to, again 6 notes, and then back to the 5th. Okay, and we start right here on A9, A10, D9, D10, then G6, and G7, and back to G6, and a vibrato. So the third part, we start at G6, then we go to G7, G9, then B7, B8, and B10, and back to B8. And a vibrato. So the last part, we start at B8, B10, E7, E9, E10, back to E9, E7, B10, B8, B7, B8, and back to B7, and a vibrato. On the way back up, we're going to start here, and a vibrato. So we go E10, E9, E7, B10, and B8, and B7, back to B8. And a vibrato there on B8. And then the next part going up is B8, B7, G9, G7, G6, and D9, back to G6. And a vibrato. So the next one is, okay, so we start at G6, D9, D7, A10, A9, A7, back to A9, and vibrato. And then the last, so we start at A9, A7, E10, E9, E7, E9, E10, A7, A9, A10, and back to A9. In that little bridge section of the backing track, I'm basically just playing the whole scale. And conclude it similarly as I did in the pattern before. Okay, so let me just break that down. So the first part is, okay, first part of the scale, then second part of the scale, then we already did that in the first part, right? So anyway, you can practice that. Hopefully you can get that in as well. It just changes things up a little bit, okay? And it's a great way to practice that. So once you have mastered these patterns and that first position Aeolian scale, feel free to put any guitar technique into this pattern. There's opportunities to put some slides in there, hammer-ons and pull-offs. I've already incorporated some vibratos for you, but feel free to amend it and make it your own. Also, try to play different patterns as well, okay? This is just a pattern I supply to you. There's 100 ways that scale can be played to make it sound more interesting. Remember, always experiment, try something new, try something different. That's how you learn, and that's how you get better. I hope you enjoyed that lesson. If you did, then stay tuned for the next one. Subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon. Take care.